Okay. Hey there, it's Miss Lana from Noble Root Herbs. I just kind of wanted to do like a vlog kind of rant, I guess, because I've had a few things on my mind lately and just thought it would be cool to share. So a lot of things have been popping up lately about stepping into your power and what that means. You know, to a lot of people, you hear a lot about it on social media. There's tons of books on it. There's tons of workshops on it. But what does stepping into your power mean? You know, is it something really groovy to where you're gonna get some mystical powers and maybe change? No, but I mean maybe, but on the real, stepping into your power for me, there was many years in my life where I gave my power away to circumstances that really weren't very good for me, or toxic relationships, not just with an intimate relationship but with friendships as well. I had that people pleaser mentality, and it was something that took a lot of strength and a lot of rewiring and a lot of self realization to get through. And it wasn't always easy because you when you're going through different phases of your life, you want to feel accepted, you don't want to feel alienated, and you want to be loved, and you want to have friends, and you want all these human things that a lot of people can relate to. So it's not exactly a weird thing. And I'm going to do a shameless plug here. This is Lacuna Cava. This is one of my favorite places to go. I like, if I go there any more than once a week, I'll start living there. And I'm drinking yellow kratom tea, so if any of y'all are interested in that, you can always look them up. They're an amazing place if you're out here in Arizona to go hang out, to collaborate, and to just straight chill and have a good time without getting that crazy alcohol drunk and not be able to drive home. So just a little shameless insert there. But getting back to stepping your power, so there was, I wasn't just like popped out a baby herbalist and was like had everything completely figured out. I definitely had a dark night of the soul. I've definitely been through the cleansing fire of doubt and of being my own judge and jury. That would be another video to talk about more of the darker stuff. I try to keep things pretty lighthearted, but it is a part of my past, and it's a part of who I am. And if my story can help touch the life of someone else to get them through the thick of whatever it is they're going through, then you bet your ass I'm going to go ahead and share the information. I am an open book. I can be private, but for the most part, just ask. You know what I mean? If anybody has any questions about anything, there's really nothing too off limits to ask me, because again, we're all in this together. We're here sharing information and knowledge and stories. When we look back at stories of people stepping into their power, and we look back at mythology and all these things that they used to pass down verbally as a part of a group or a tribe or whatever, it was very connecting, and it also was stimulating our brains, because we're having to remember and retain this information, and it was very important information, and we had to respect it, and we also had to pass it down to other people, because it could very much be a great help, right? But when I finally had stepped into my power, it's not like I've been in my power this whole time. I had to go through many lessons of self-worth, self-love, being independent, not being so codependent, getting through the fear, the fear of what if I fail, and I want to be this way, but I have to take so much shit for it. I was a very odd child, and my teenage years were rough, just like anybody else's. I definitely wasn't the most popular person in school. But I still wore and spoke and believed what I wanted to, but I had to fight for it. And now, we forget that when we fight for these things, in the future, it paves the way for the next generation, and then they have something that they have to fight for. But now that's one thing that they don't have to worry about. So some of us can get kind of jaded and be like, yeah, but I had to do that, and then now it's all cool. It's like, yeah, because of us now it's cool. Just like the people in the 60s, there's a lot of shit that they had to go through in order for us, you know, in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, the 2000s, to be able to do what, you know, what we want to do or what we're passionate about, and vice versa. And it goes all the way throughout history. Every you know, decade or every generation has to lay the foundation for the next. And again, you know, it's kind of like meh, because now it's like a lot of stuff, my belief systems, a lot of things that, you know, really set home for me were considered really strange and weird, and they weren't really talked about. And people, you know, they would put you away. You know, you'd say that you're hearing voices and you're connecting with your ancestors, unless you're, you know, you're a Native American, full-blooded, they're not going to really take you as seriously, especially when you're light-skinned, you know. But when I started stepping more into my power, going into my mid-20s, and then my later 20s, and then my early 30s, like there's this whole change in me. I'm not afraid to talk about the things that are on my mind as much, that maybe are a little strange for some people. But now we're in such a great time in the world where it's okay to be strange. It's okay to be different. This is the best time to be a weirdo, because everybody is starting to see that it's not so weird. You know, quantum physics isn't just a weird thought. It's like becoming completely real. Being, you know, a mystic isn't so, you know, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's old folklore crap. Like it's like a real thing. You know, if you're a pagan or a Wiccan, or, you know, whatever you're practicing with magic, it's not so crazy anymore either, which is nice because of all the stigma behind everybody's evil. You know, if you're not this one conformed way, you must be evil. And it's like, no, I mean, I'm not going to get on the premise of religion or anything, because whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you to the path that's going to be the most good, it doesn't matter. It's all going to the same place. You know, we are all really connected. There's so many synchronicities, and I'm a strong believer in that. But as I stepped into my power, and I've accepted my gifts, and I accept the gifts that I am still developing, and I am being a, you know, small, intricate part in the web of things that are linking together and helping people, being a facilitator with healing. It's not that I put my hands on this child's head and I heal him. It's not so much that. It's more of giving people tools and understanding and compassion, and exchanging energy with them in order for them to help them grow and for them to heal. And the more people that heal, and the more people that are waking up to their inner power and where their spot is in life, and what they, you know, whatever quests that they need to go on, the better the vibration for the planet, and the planet starts healing, and the people are healing, and it's all connected. And for a while, it made it seem like everything was doomed, and, you know, all we had to look forward to was the planet blowing up and everyone dying. And now it's like, you look around and it's like, the planet really is healing, because the people are healing too. And when people are in a bad mood and they hate everything and they're mad at themselves, they're not going to take care of anything else around them, because they're not taking care of themselves on the inside either. So it's no surprise that things were really looking like going to shit. But now, you know, people are being more self-aware. They're being more conscious about what's going in them and what's around them. And I really see a really good future ahead of us, as long as we keep the momentum with that, you know. And with herbs, you know, we're also teaching people about the plants, because they're living things too. You know, can't, you know, it's not that we have to be mindless. They're only here for us to consume. You know, they're life forms as well. And then we also have our role to play in the world. Everything has a role to play in the world, and you start looking at all the similarities as well. So when I really began to step into my power and have more confidence in my speaking and my knowledgeability, because I kept on questioning everything, like, oh my gosh, should I have told that person that? Or, you know, I get this feeling like I'm sitting at a bus stop, and like I feel like somebody's grandma's trying to tell me that they love them, but I don't want to be like that weird, like ghost whisperer, you know, because I don't actually see the ghost, you know, but I feel this energy that really wants me to like soothe this person. And there's something that's trying to connect with me to connect with them. And it's like you don't want to say anything because you want to come off as like a, you know, psycho, but at the same time, like, that's beautiful that you're connecting, because you're connecting maybe with their past loved one, or maybe you're connecting with your, you know, you're being intuitive, and it's okay to be intuitive. It doesn't mean you need to have a bunch of pills shoved down your throat, and you know. And there was a time where I was medicated, and it sucked, and I wasn't being me, and I was like a shell of a person, and I never want to go back to that. And not everyone is in that situation. I'm not saying pour all your pills down the toilet. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that it's a case by case. Not everybody, not one size fits all, right? I'm a sensitive, intuitive person, and my path might be different from the person next to me that might have some really serious shit going on with their brain and with their chemicals, and they might need a different treatment plan than maybe I would. You know, I can take salt baths, and I can, you know, work with crystals and herbs, and I can go out into nature and forest bathe and do all these things to feel better and eat healthy and do all these things that make me feel grounded and make me feel leveled out, and not like I'm so sensitive that I'm taking all these things in and I feel like I'm going crazy and I'm having crying spells, you know, and all these, like, it just feels like chaos, right? What I've learned is I'm the person that doesn't need the medication. I need these other things, because that's what works for me. But if medications and things work for you, then if that's what helps you stand in your power and be able to put your best foot forward in the world and do what you were, you know, meant to do, or what you're trying to do in the world, then there is no shame in that. There is no shame. There's this huge misconception with the wellness world that all medications are terrible and nothing is needed. It's like there needs to be synergy, and there is some things are medically necessary, right? And that's okay. And you shouldn't hinder guilt, but you also shouldn't be fed tons of lies about only this one thing will work for you. And that's just not the truth. And we've only scratched the surface on what works for people, because now we're finally starting to be open enough and, you know, I guess more exploratory, you know, more, yeah, just more open enough to actually look at the bigger picture. Because before it was this little tiny, like, this is how stuff is. And it's like, no, man, that's not how stuff is, because look at the past, and the past tends to repeat itself. So with this babbling, yes, I haven't always been this perfect spiritual, you know, trophy of a person or something where I'm sitting on a pillow and I'm, yes, you know, I never swear and I don't fart, you know, that's not real. And, you know, the people that are that way and that's the level they're on, good for them, but that's not me. And I'm not trying to portray something I'm not. I'm a soul here, you know, to help facilitate healing and, you know, work with herbs and work with people. And, you know, I do things with art and paint and writing and cooking and all these different things that help me do what I need to do, not just for me, but for the environment and the community around me. And that's what works. And when it's powerful to feel that when you're in your calling and you're doing the work. That in itself is medicine, and it's very healing. So I just wanted to touch base on that, because again, you hear a lot, like, all these different buzz phrases and all these things, and at the end of the day, it's what's going to resonate in here with your soul, and what's going to feed your soul, and what's going to help your mind, and what's going to help create the path that you're working towards. And it's all good. All of it is good. So on that note, I'm going to finish my tea here. I'm going to finish making some of my medicines tonight. I'm going to be vending at a friend's event for Deep House Yoga. It's over at the Ocotillo Bar and Grill on 3rd in Phoenix. You know, if anybody's watching this and they go down there, definitely stop by and say hi. The yoga has sold out, but the rest of the event still has tickets left. And then Lacuna Cava, again, is an amazing place. If you get a chance, it's off of Roosevelt and 3rd in Phoenix. this amazing, amazing spot with wonderful people. So I just wanted to give them shout outs. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and thanks for listening to me babble. So just remember, wellness always starts at the root. Take care.